Okay, now I think I might be live. This is my second time trying this, so please bear with me. I'm trying to go live in this hotel with questionable Wi-Fi. Better than the last hotel I tried this at. When I tried to connect that stream, it just kicked me off the Wi-Fi entirely. So right now I'm trying to see if I'm even live streaming. So I obviously don't have chat up yet. And I'm trying to do this on my Surface 3, my aging Surface 3. Then I can tell you all about what's been going on and what I'm doing. This was not how I planned to spend my day. Hot damn, I think we might actually be live. I still can't get chat up and running yet, so bear with me. I'm having my lunch. I had a whole different day planned. I was gonna have my lunch, hang out, and then the Facebook group, unbeknownst to me, crossed 100,000 members. Okay, that's our second confirmation that we are apparently live. Let's see if I can get myself into chat so we can have a two-way conversation instead of just having me chatting at you people, talking to you. Maybe talk with you might be better. One person's allegedly watching, streaming for 80 seconds. Okay. Pieces are slowly coming together. Elvis! Hey, Elvis. All right, I've got chat up and running. Elvis, can you hear me? Or anybody else who might be in chat. My display is delayed. Can anyone hear me? I don't have my proper microphone with me. I'm just using the microphone on my tablet, because this was not how I saw things going. Yeah, you can hear me? Cool. I hope I sound okay without too much lag or anything, because if I don't think there's much I can do about it. Let me just post about it in the group, and then I can tell you my story. You can hear me ultra clear. Wow. Well, that is a credit to the Surface, I suppose. Actually, how should I do this? Oh, I don't know. We'll just have to see what happens. And I'm having my lunch, so a little bit of mukbang for you mukbang fans out there. So I'm in Victoria, west coast of Canada, not where I live. I'm here visiting my friend John. He's actually working right now. I've got the day off, so I'm hanging out in my hotel room. And I was just managing the group, watching some YouTube videos. I posted a video on my on my Vacation Impossible channel. Promoted that a little bit. Was going to promote it more. And I'm in line at the A&W for my lunch. I'm going to take out my phone like I do, and I'm moderating the group, approving posts and things like that. Some guy comes along and does sub for sub. So I ban him. And I'm like, oh... I had this idea where I was going to hold the group at 99,999 members, because for 100,000 I wanted to do something special for y'all. I wanted to do a live stream that was going to run from like 8 to 12 hours, review every channel until I drop, basically, live tutorials, whatever, but I wanted to do it from home with my desktop computer. In fact, I had recently ordered a new computer, partly to do that. But yeah. So let's just, I'm just going to pin this. Oh, did it even mark it as an announcement? Let's get this set up here. And then you'll have my full focus. As you'll see, there's that member count, 100,000, well, 100,139. Celebratory live stream. Here we go. It's already an announcement. I'm just going to pin it so we can have people join the party. I'll unpin it after this broadcast is done. And since we're doing this thing, here's a little behind the scenes where you can actually see me moderate the group slightly. This is what it looks like if you're curious. I'm just going to go in and approve the remaining member requests that are outstanding. So, prior to what I called Operation Nightclub, we only had basically one requirement to join the group. And that is you can't have your account shut down by Facebook or block anyone on the mod team. And so what that looks like to us on the back end, as you can see here, is if the name is blue, and that means we can click on it, then you get in. That's it. That means Facebook hasn't shut down your account and you haven't blocked me. Cool. But this one here, you'll notice, is black. So either Facebook has shut down that account or they've blocked me. So they don't get to come in because we can't moderate them. We can't see what they're up to. So they couldn't possibly, we have no idea if they're adhering to the rules. So I'm just going to go in and let all these people in who, haven't blocked me or had their account shut down by Facebook. And then we can get the party really going. Yeah, and then I can finish having my lunch. And I can tell you all about what's going on. And then I can get into your requests. I can do channel reviews. I don't think I can do much in the way of tutorials because I'm just here on my tablet. But hey, we'll try to have some fun. I can probably hang around for maximum 3 hours. Maximum. And I'm kind of doubtful of that. Okay, let's just get things up here. Okay, so let's see what we got going on in chat. Oh, Elvis is here. Frankie London, thank you for helping with the sound check. Elvis as well. Very crisp. That's awesome. Stupid Robot Fighting League is here. Hey, John. Nice beard. Thank you. I haven't actually shaved yet today. I scrambled to start this live stream. Why would they block me? I don't know. I mean, I suppose it's also possible that some people have their privacy set so high that maybe no one can view their profile. Maybe that also is the same thing. I don't know. I'm not an expert at Facebook. However, here's a secret. I have recently been accepted into this special pilot group of administrators of large and highly engaged Facebook groups. And so they're going to be giving us behind-the-scenes information about the Facebook algorithm, apparently, which is very exciting. Tips and tricks about how to run your group and things like that. And I've already started benefiting from it a little bit, so I plan on learning more. But I think, and this is just a suspicion, because I'm trying to understand why would somebody go and block an admin of a group they just joined, or are trying to join and waiting to be accepted into. Is it maybe because they're so shady and they get banned all the time that they think, oh, if I block them, they won't see the shady stuff I'm doing. Unfortunately for them, fortunately for you fine folks, we're a little too smart for that. So, yeah, I don't know. 950, yeah. Yeah, John, 958 views. Uh-huh, I know. I've been kind of keeping that to myself because, much like this live stream, I'm not ready. So if you guys don't know what the hell I'm talking about, there was this request from Stupid Robot Fighting League, and it was for me on my Vacation Impossible channel, which I have up here, to film a mukbang. And so here's a little bit more. Enjoy that, people who enjoy that. I am Ray. You're correct, Frankie. So, it's kind of a funny thing. I was going to be hanging out with my son, and people were joking, and they were like, oh, hey, you guys are going to order pizza and play video games, right? And I hate being super predictable in that way. So I'm like, no, we're not. And John had mentioned jokingly that I should do a mukbang. And so basically to prove the whole world wrong, because that's the kind of thing I do. I mean, Vacation Impossible. You tell me something's impossible, I'm probably going to find a way to do it. So I'm like, all right, fine. We're going to go to a local restaurant. We're going to bring our cameras. We're going to film it. We're going to review the restaurant and do a mukbang. And so I posted it, and it's on my Vacation Impossible channel now. You can watch it if you want. It's a white spot. You can search that term. Maybe watch it after the live stream. So anyways, I put it up, and then John was like, hey, do another one. And I'm like, hey, I'm glad you enjoyed it. but I kind of didn't want to because it's not really our thing. I mean, a restaurant review kind of fits in the umbrella of travel, so I gave it a shot. And so I made this deal with John. I said, well, I'll tell you what. If it gets to 1,000 views, I'll do a second one. And we're at like 958 now. So that second one's gotta, I guess, be kind of coming. I don't have anything filmed. What I wanted to do was there is a restaurant on Carnival cruise ships. I take a lot of Carnival cruises. Most cruise ships, not all of them, but most Carnival ones have Guy's Burgers. And so I wanted to do a mukbang of that because that would actually work very well in the Venn diagram of mukbangs and, travel videos and cruise videos and Vacation Impossible. It fits all those boxes. My next cruise isn't until December. I'm worried that I'm going to hit that 1,000 before December. So I wonder if John would be patient enough that it could wait until, say, the beginning of the new year. Would that be okay, even if I hit 1,000 before then? If not, I don't know. What am I going to do? A restaurant review of A&W? I give these little mukbang bits in the live stream sometimes. Try to keep them happy. Yes, John does hold my feet to the fire, and I do appreciate that. People have asked me over the years, how did we have a successful Facebook group? And also, hey, this is an amazing thing. Don't get me wrong by my bitching. I'm happy that the group has hit 100,000 members. And people ask, how did you do it? And also in this new elite secret Facebook group that I'm in, they're asking those sorts of questions too. And one of the things I said is that I stick to just the 4 rules and I try not to play God. And I got a moderator team that is strong and fantastic and smart people. I can't say enough good things about them, but they help keep me honest too. If they think hey, you're kind of breaking your own rules, Ray, or maybe somebody has insulted me, and there's certain things that are triggering for me, I guess is the word. They're kind of like my buttons. And questioning my integrity is pretty high on that list. So somebody calls me a liar or a shill or something, I might kind of go off on them a little bit. And that's when the moderators might step in and be like, whoa. And if it gets to the point where maybe moderation is needed, maybe it's someone's getting close to the line of bullying or something else, what I'll try to do is recuse myself of the situation. Say, you know what, I'm emotionally compromised by this person because they made me so angry. And then I'll go to the mod team and I'm like, can you guys look at this with impartial, fresh eyes? So I really do appreciate people who hold my feet to the fire, keep me accountable, make me keep my word. I try to do my best for that, but nobody's perfect. An extra set of eyes. So I actually really appreciate that kind of independence. So, I had a plan. This was my plan. At 100,000 members, I wanted to do an epic live stream at home on a brand new computer, souped up, ready to go. I was going to do channel reviews. I was going to do tutorials, software, Photoshop, Premiere, whatever you wanted to know. Do it until I drop. I have his vote. So I assume that it's okay that I wait until the new year to get the second mukbang out? Is that what you mean by I have your vote? So I wanted to do it and I wanted to do it right. But I wasn't ready. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the equipment. So I was waiting on that. So my plan was, I called it Operation Nightclub. It was my secret plan. I didn't even tell the mod team until I started doing it, basically. And I was going to hold the group to 99,999 members. And at that point, I was going to let a line form, waiting for entry into the group, like a nightclub. And the idea was, as people got banned for sub or harassment, bullying, whatever, then I would allow people to kind of take their spots. And I was also planning on getting maybe a little picky, playing God maybe a tiny bit, about removing certain members who didn't seem to be contributing. Now, I want to be very clear on this. These are people who would maybe just constantly spam their links, but in posts that never get approved and never do anything else in the group. So that kind of a thing. One thing that I'm keenly aware of, and I'm never going to hold me to this. I'm never going to punish someone because they've been away from the group for a long time. Certainly not a general member. Moderators I might hold to a slightly different standard. But for one thing, I leverage beard power to quell your impatience. Awesome. So this beard is paying off. I still don't know how I feel about this. Anyways, so the idea was that I understand how sometimes people just can't be super involved. They might have personal issues, career issues, family issues, mental health issues, whatever might take them away. And the example that I always think of is if somebody is in the armed forces. First of all, if you are, I want to say thank you for your service. But you could be on deployment for 9 months with no access to the internet. And I'm not going to kick you out of my group because of that. I'm never going to do that. I don't want to punish people that I should be thanking. Hey Achilles, welcome to the unscheduled, not totally prepared live stream. But anyways, that was sort of my idea. So and then the idea was I also wanted to get post pre-approvals levels up in the group. So we've always had post pre-approval is when you have the ability to post in our Facebook group without it being reviewed by a moderator or an admin. Yeah, me too, Achilles, me too. And so one of the things, we could never get that really much above 5%. And so the way that we were doing that before was, first of all, I was the only one granting it, and it was based on the fact that they submitted a lot of posts that got approved, and they were following the rules well. And then if they didn't, we would take it away from them. And so I let the mod team take it away, but I was the only one who was granting it. And so recently I changed things up as part of my Operation Nightclub plan, and the mods previously were allowed to approve all the people entering the group. And I said, I'll tell you what, guys, I'll take care of all the member approvals, partly so I can control the flow of the growth. But I granted them, sort of as a trade-off, I said, but you guys can start giving post pre-approval because I want to get those numbers up. It's less work for us, and I want to recognize the people who are following the rules in the group and allow them to post more freely. For example, if you've got a live stream, either a Facebook Live or a live stream like this on YouTube, and you want to post it, and it sits there for a couple hours waiting for approval because one of us is most of us are at work or asleep, that sucks for you. So I want to get those post pre-approval numbers up. So that was my plan. I wanted to create this great sort of a gated community in Facebook for a period of time. I kind of saw it as there were going to be 3 phases of small YouTubers boost. There was initial growth, getting right up, but not crossing the 100,000. Then we were going to hold it 999, while we kind of did an Operation Nightclub and kind of really focused on quality over quantity. Over the years, people who have gotten upset with me generally about how the group was run would say, oh, you need to have more quality people, and you're just caring about numbers. For one thing, I don't care about the numbers that much. It's about the people. But how do you judge the quality of a person? And people suggested things like ban this entire country because they're full of spammers. And I'm like, whoa, racism, slow down. That's not ever happening. But I've been thinking about it for years. Even when I disagree with these people, even when they're triggering and upsetting to me, I always consider their ideas. And so I was thinking in the back of my head, how can I choose quality over quantity? And so I had some thoughts about that. Like people who constantly have posts rejected, never get a post approved, never comment or help anybody else. True dat, Achilles. Might want to look at my white balance. I really don't think I have control over my white balance. I can screw around with the lighting in the room. Let me finish my burger first. Hey, Second Street Marvel. Welcome to the show, man. Person? Lady? I don't know. Genderless pronoun? Welcome. I walked right into that. I built that problem for myself and I walked into it. It was a house of pain and I built it. Now I live there. I'm glad you enjoy the group. That's fantastic. I love hearing that. My white balance, huh? Let me throw out my garbage. Get a bit more to drink. I'll be right back. You'll see me walking around. Maybe I'll talk while I'm doing my stuff. Stand by. I don't have a standby graphics. I'm not at home. This hotel's pretty cool, but it's kind of got multiple personality disorder because it's got some things that are awesome and some things that aren't. But it's got a full-size fridge, which is nice. So I picked myself up a 2-liter of soda. It's more than I need for this little trip. I'm going home tomorrow afternoon, but if I wanted something smaller, it was going to be double the price. So I'm like, all right, I'll just be wasteful and save money. That's a weird combination. Nice fridge, nice glasses, but the handles on the dresser drawer are broken. So it's kind of multiple personality there. The mic is great. You could still hear me clear as day when I was walking around the room talking about nonsense. That's awesome. I've been on the group a long time and on this YouTube channel. That's awesome, Frankie. That is fantastic. I love the long-term people. And I love the new people too. I love everybody. I love everybody who follows rules. This group is so great you can rub cheese against it. I love that. That's great. So, Where was I? Operation Nightclub. So that was the plan. I was going to have Operation Nightclub where I kind of kick out the people who were just link dropping mindlessly that might have been bots, things like that. But I was trying to do it. I was going to be based on behavior, not geography or their ability of how they write English grammar and things like that. It was just going to be about, the contribution factor. And so that was the plan. And I've been doing it for like 2 days. You might have noticed that the group was at. Dad joke. Yeah, I have a lot of those. I like puns. Thanks, Frankie. That's fantastic. That means a lot. And also, full credit to the mod team, too. I would not be anywhere near as... our group would not be successful without the members of the mods. Otherwise, it'd be me talking to myself in a room. Padded room, maybe. So anyways, yeah, I was holding the group at 99, 999, and slowly kind of weeding out some of those people and slowly titrating the access of new people coming in. And we had... as of breakfast this morning, we had over 200 people waiting in line to get into the group, like the trendiest nightclub. And so my plan was, once I was ready, once I had my new computer at home and I was ready to do this epic live stream where I could find 8 to 12 hours and just like live stream till I drop, then I was going to start that live stream by just accepting all the people in the list who didn't have me blocked or their accounts shut down. And like I did at the beginning of this live stream. I thought it was going to be a much longer list. And so that was the plan. And then after that, I was hoping it would be like the golden age of the group, where we would have high post pre-approval percentages, this core group of members from that first 100K, and then we would just continue to grow from there. So what happened was, and the moderator involved shall remain nameless because I don't blame them, but I had asked the mod team several times to be like, stop approving new members. I'll take care of it for you. You don't have to do that work. And also then I was going to control when we hit 100K. So I'm across the street at the A&W, and I'm picking up lunch, and I'm monitoring the group on my phone, and I see that we have 100,163 odd members suddenly. And I was like, what? So a moderator must not have gotten the message and had gone in and approved 183 people waiting in line. So, congratulations, Facebook Small YouTubers Boost group. We've now hit 100,000, and it's in the rearview mirror. I'm going to have my dessert. More mukbang. Yeah, someone dropped the ball, but as it goes. So there was a bouncer at my nightclub who was a little too nice. That's not the worst problem in the world. So that quality period was much shorter than I thought it would be. It was like 2 days, and I thought it would be like at least 2 weeks, closer to maybe 2 months. I don't know. Small YouTubers boots. Did I say that? I wouldn't put it past me. So I had my teen burger. Now I'm going to have my apple turnover. And then I won't be doing any kind of multitasking. Maybe we can get into some channel reviews if you like. In the meantime, if you have any questions that don't require my hands too much, I'd be happy to answer. YouTube stuff, Facebook stuff, social media in general. I don't know. Oh, you said boots. Okay. So there's a merch idea. Small YouTubers boost boots. I think I maxed out the mic there. So, one of my goals for Small YouTubers Boost, now that the group is at 100,000, is to get this YouTube channel, not Vacation Impossible, but the one I'm broadcasting from, Small YouTubers Boost, to 1,000 subscribers. And here's why. There have been a lot of times where I've wanted to go live with a tip video that I had an idea, like, I'm on my commute, I'm coming home from work or something, and I'm like, oh, this would be a really good idea to share. And if I could just go live on my phone, and say like, hey guys, here's a quick little, 3-minute tip idea, and then have a little, conversation about it, do a quick little live stream. There's been like a dozen times I wanted to do that. I recently got back from a 17-day road trip that went through 13 U.S. states and 2 Canadian provinces. And there were several times where I was like, oh, I wish I could go live because I got this idea. But that's the thing. I can't go live on mobile until I get 1,000 subscribers on Small YouTubers Boost. So, oh, Achilles is racing me to 1,000. That's funny. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Achilles Melee, he's experienced a lot of growth on his channel lately. He'll be hitting 1,000 subscribers very soon. And I have already obviously hit it on Vacation Impossible, but I want to hit it on SpoilerTubers Boost just to unlock that functionality. So the race is on, I guess. I was also toying with this idea of there was a couple, I don't know, 2 years ago. Somebody was like, "Oh, there's small YouTubers Boost. What about medium YouTubers and big YouTubers?" And I was like, "I'm not big." But they're like, "Oh, create the group anyway." Yeah, gentleman's race. And yes, congrats to Achilles on your recent growth. But so I briefly created it, and I actually added a couple of people as mods who were the ones who suggested that I create the group. But it didn't really grow at all. Nothing really happened, so I archived the groups. And so one of the ideas I had during this like lockdown of like not 100K yet is I was thinking I might revive and unarchive one or two of those groups. But yeah, I don't know that I have the time. As it is, there is so much I need to do. So, while I've got your attention here, I want to talk about food channels for a second. Because we're running a contest in the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group right now, where you could enter to win a free ticket to the world's largest food influencer conference in Utah. It's in the spring. These tickets start at $500 and go up to like $650 or something per person. And so we were contacted by the owners of the conference, and they offered me a free ticket. Actually, just between us, the free ticket was offered. They said I could give it to one of my moderators, but they weren't able to take advantage of it. And so I was like, oh. So then I came up with the idea of a contest. And so we've got a contest. If you look in the announcement section of Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group, you just fill out a SurveyMonkey question. It's 4 questions on a survey. You just got to submit your email, the name of your channel, a link to your channel, and tell us like how much like food involvement does your channel have. Are you a food channel? Are you another channel but sometimes cover food, or do you have nothing to do with food? If you have nothing to do with food, you're probably not going to win. But those first 2 categories will be considered. And we need the email as a means of contacting you, and of course we want the channel name and link so that we can verify that you're a food channel. And I had a request about a year ago to begin creating like maybe a newsletter or an mailing list for the group. And again, I don't know that I have the time, but with this contest, we will have those emails. So maybe I'll start with a small sample group, testing out, what a newsletter might look like. I don't know. If I have the time. So, anyways, welcome to the party. Congratulations us on 100,000 members of the Facebook group. And growing strong. We probably get a good 100 member requests every day as sort of a minimum. But then we end up like banning 20 of them because they're sub for subbers who don't read the rules. So, our group only has 4 rules, and I think that's one of its strengths. Because I try to make the rules as easy to understand as possible. The first rule is you can't break YouTube's rules or Facebook's rules. So, for example, sub for sub is against YouTube's rules. And it's also against common sense. It's a kind of fraud as far as I'm concerned. So, the rule is that, we don't want people coming into the group and getting, boosted in whatever way to the point where the channel gets shut down. We don't want to boost you into oblivion. We want to boost you into success. And if people come and they share things like adult nudity, which is against Facebook's rules, then we get dings against the group, and the group would potentially get shut down. So that's just to protect the functionality of the group. The purpose is to make us successful, not to shut us down, either the group or your channels. The second rule is no bullying. So, for example, sexual harassment is a lifetime ban from the group. No reconsideration. We might ban you for sub, And maybe you didn't know sub for sub wasn't allowed. Maybe you were trying to be helpful and reciprocal and you didn't understand that it was a fraud. I can appreciate that. And so if you contacted myself or one of the mods and said, look, I didn't understand, now I get it, I'll never do it again, can I come back in? We let people back in. We lift those kinds of bans all the time. But if it's sexual harassment, that's game over. We're not playing with you anymore. I don't care how much you apologize. That should obviously be wrong. And then there's there's other kinds of bullying, name calling, racism, sexism, things of that nature. Those are a little, we have to use our judgment there a little bit more. But at the same time, generally speaking, that results in a ban if you cross that line. And then our third rule is the one that confuses the heck out of everybody. Rule number 3 is posts with a link need a description. What is that all about? I'm making a giant mess. Sorry about that, Frankie. It's hard to understand sarcasm in text. And also, thanks for saying it's a good group. And Achilles for saying it's one of the best Facebook groups for YouTubers. That is an amazing compliment. It means a lot. I really appreciate that. Oh, blocked you for posting for a bit. Yeah. So, the idea is if you want your post approved, people need to know what it's about without clicking on it. And you can't rely, and we don't count the preview that might show up, because for one thing, that preview doesn't show up a bunch of the time. And it shows up differently on desktop versus mobile. What words get cut off and all that kind of stuff, we're not getting into that. You should write a text description of the link that tells people what it's about. And we only require 2 words. In fact, we don't even require 2 most of the time. If you say it's a comedy thing, I'm probably not going to make you explain it because it's probably going to ruin the joke. I get that. I appreciate that. If you say comedy, you're going to get approved. If you're a gaming channel and you mention the name of the game, and maybe it's a 1-word name, Overwatch, Borderlands, whatever, if that's in there, you'll probably get approved. You do that enough, you get post pre-approval. But if you just say, hey, I'm a gamer, a third of YouTube is gamers. If you just say I'm a vlog, you can vlog about anything. Hell, you could vlog about pornography for all I know, and that's not allowed by the rules. So it has to be, we say a minimum 2 words, but really it's the vloggers and the gamers that we hold to those 2-word restriction and requirement. And that's because both of those make up a third of all of YouTube. So it really doesn't narrow down what the heck your video is about. And so you need that second word. Makeup vlogger, gamer with gameplay, game review, something. Let people know something of what they are expecting before they click on it. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I think for one thing, it forces you to actually describe your content, because no one's going to click on your stuff without a description of some kind. So it creates a good habit for you, I think, if you don't mind us being a little, paternalistic on that. And that way, people who might not want to expose themselves to certain subjects have a choice and are informed before they click on something. I think it makes good sense across the board. A lot of people don't get it, and that's unfortunate. It's frustrating. I wish I could think of a way to make it more clear than we have in the past, but it's probably one of our most challenging rules. And then comes our 4th rule, which is you can't drop a link on somebody else's post without someone asking for it. And so when people do that, that's when we start issuing the mutes. That's where you'll be temporarily prevented from commenting or posting for a period of time. It used to be a day. We used to do 24 hours, but I recently made the change where it's only 12 hours now. The problem is, if that happens, if you get that 3 times in 90 days, you'll get kicked from the group. Because there's only so many times we're going to put up with that before we, you're a bot, you need to go. Or you're not following the rules, you need to go. And so that's basically how that works. And sometimes the interpretation of those simple rules can get a little complicated. For example, you might have a post approved that has no link, and a no link post, it's like no sub for sub, no bullying, sexism, approved. That's super easy for us to approve. But then if you go in and you edit it and then you add a link and there's no description of what the link is about, you're trying to get around the rules. And so then we escalate the punishment. So normally that would just be a post doesn't get approved and there's no punishment. But because the editing is an attempt to get around the rules, we also will mute for that. It's generally how that works. And then people think they can get around our rules through private messages. Au contraire. If we hear about that, then we respond. But again, because they're trying to avoid the rules, we escalate the punishment one level. So if you're link dropping on a post, you might get muted. If you do it through private message because you're trying to hide from us, we're just going to ban you because we're not going to play that whack-a-mole game. And I don't like talking about all that discipline stuff. I mean, the mutes have, other than that 3 in 90 days limit, there's no cumulative effect. People get really upset with the mutes, and I don't entirely blame them, but when they message me and telling me that, like, my kid should be murdered because I muted them for 12 hours, they need to go, too. So it's crazy, like, the range of reactions we get. A lot of people are like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize, or I thought I was posting to a different group or whatever, and that's fine. And, I mean, I don't want to encourage getting floods of messages, but if people reach out to me in that manner, I generally release the mute early if it hasn't already expired. Which is part of why I went for 12 hours, is because now most of them expire by the time I get to the message anyways. So it makes less work for me. And it's a little nicer for them. But also, if you are a bot or someone who's just never going to follow the rules, you'll hit your 3 faster. Instead of it taking 3 days, it can now take a day and a half, and then we'll get you out of there. So hopefully it's better for everybody that way. And the other thing is we're human. And so we might on occasion make mistakes. We get up to 300 post submissions per hour in the group during our busy periods. And so we're trying to go through that. And so we might make a mistake. We might, run so fast we trip over our own feet on occasion. We are human. And so I certainly would apologize when we do that. It happens. Keep snacks in my beard. No, it's not really the ZZ Top kind of beard. And I trim it with a set to a level 2. I would set it to level 1, but my level 1 guard got broken. So it would be shorter than it is now if I had my druthers. This is the one I got muted for, but I understand. Oh, we muted you, Achilles? Oops. Yeah. Well, and the other thing is, about the muting, is it serves several purposes. One of the purposes is to hopefully raise awareness of the person. And Facebook's recently enabled an option where we can give you a notification about the fact that you've been muted, and we can tie it to one of our 4 rules, which I'm really liking that notification function. We can also use it for removing comments and posts. And so I'm strongly encouraging the moderating team to do that, but we don't always have the time. If I'm waiting for a bus and I'm deleting a comment and the bus is there, I got to get on the bus. I don't necessarily have time to go in and provide that feedback. But whenever I do have the time, I try to. Because I want people to be successful, on YouTube and in the group. And information is how you do that, I think. So, that's part of what that... I was going somewhere with that one. The other purpose of the mute is to prevent floods. Because if it is a bot, or just somebody who's like copy and paste, and just spamming all over the place, when we mute them, it puts the brakes on that, so then we don't have 78 comments we have to remove. Maybe only 4 before we caught the person doing it. So it's a flood prevention technique, as well as an awareness piece, as well as a tracking piece, so that 3 strikes and you're out. I'm generally nice in the DM, but it depends. I could be nicer in some cases, like where people come at me all like, they're like, hey, a-hole, why'd you mute me? I'm like, don't swear at me. Don't speak to me like that. I'm not here to take your verbal abuse. And they don't often respond well to that, so I think I need to find a slightly different approach on dealing with those people. Maybe just block them and remove them and don't engage. I don't know, because my time is, not to sound arrogant, but my time's valuable. I could be spending it reviewing channels. I could spend it helping people, approving other posts, approving member joins, whatever. But normally, it's when people are like, they're calling me names, or they're saying that I lied, or they're calling me a shill. That annoys me a little bit. Like, imagine if 100,000 people watch this video. That would be amazing. That would be awesome. DJ Talks, welcome to the party. Thank you so much, Megan. That means a lot, those comments. Really like stuff like that. Hey, Bodis, welcome to the party. We're celebrating hitting 100,000K. And yeah, that's the thing. Block and move on. They'll find another group. And recently, especially since I got invited to this like elite Facebook training camp thing, group, whatever you want to call it, is I went and I kind of joined a bunch of different YouTube groups out there to try and see what, I don't want to call it the competition, but what other groups are doing. And I gotta say, it's not a huge sample size. I joined maybe a dozen, if that many, but they are mostly a wasteland of sub for sub and link dropping and just no engagement, no questions getting answered. Like, one thing that I love is when someone comes to our group and they ask a question, and I go in to answer, and somebody else has beaten me to it. I'm like, that's awesome. That's great. Another thing I like is when people come and they're like, hey, I want to do a Q&A, I mean, I've never really done a Q&A video unless you count these live streams. But they're like, hey, I want to do a Q&A, but I don't have a large enough audience yet, and I need some questions. And people will just come in with questions. And you don't get that in other groups, I find. You can't get that kind of feedback. Somebody goes in and says, hey, I got this technical problem. One thing I'm really proud of is like when I see something about like YouTube's got a glitch or they're changing something, I try to post about it in the group right away because maybe those people aren't on Twitter or they just don't hear about it. And seeing the engagement that comes around that and some of the thoughtful discussion, I think we've really created something special there. And I can't take too much of the credit because I actually didn't create the group. I didn't write the original 4 rules. That was somebody named Alexis. I joined the group about a week after it was created. That was in December 2016. The following April, I was made a mod, and I think it was like another 6 or 9 months after that the group was handed over to me as the admin because I was at the time pretty much the only really active mod. And so that's some of the backstory. And it's interesting too because I think the way that it happened was really lucky for all of us. So when Alexis made me a moderator, she was very busy. She had things going on in her personal life, and I don't blame her or I'm not frustrated or anything about that. But it did mean that there was sort of like an absentee landlord situation where I didn't have a lot of direction. And so I had these 4 rules, but I didn't know like, well, when to, what about this thing? And well, this is a gray area, and what do I do? So what I did is I didn't want to go too far. I didn't want to extend beyond my authority. And so all I did was I was like, you know what? If I can clearly say that it breaks one of the 4 rules, then I took action. And if I couldn't say that, then I just let it go, whatever it was, even if it was something that I thought was reprehensible. I mean, people post about all sorts of stuff, and some of it I hate, to be completely honest. Some of the content, I was like, oh my God, don't make this. You're making the world a worse place. Please stop. But it doesn't break the rules. Approve. And so it's created this free speech environment that with like 4 simple rules of the road, so that we've got like a traffic cop, is sort of how the mod team likes to think of ourselves. It created this great sort of environment. And so with those minimal protections and maximum freedom within those boundaries, we've created a great community. And that was never something I set out to do. I kind of fell ass backwards into it, but it's absolutely amazing. And so when I became the admin, I was like, okay, now I can play God. But I'm probably not. I really shouldn't. Because by that point, we had like 14,000 members or something. When I became a mod, we had 1,400. And so it was like, it's working. And there is this thing here. So I don't want to change it too much. So over the years, I've tweaked the wording of the rules to try and make them a little bit more clear. Say it in fewer words if possible. Make it simpler, especially because we are global, and so people might not speak English as their first language. And so tried to do that, but I haven't really changed the core of it. So yeah, Bodis says, how are we doing tonight, fam? Well, here it's 2 p.m., so it's not quite tonight for me, but we are global, as I was just saying, so I'm doing all right. I just had my lunch. I'm pretty much ready to start diving in if anybody has specific questions, channel reviews, whatever. I'm sharing my screen of my browser, which I'm logged in as Vacation Impossible, which has TubeBuddy, the plugin installed, and that is set to legendary, so I've got my TubeBuddy suite of tools I can use, but I can't do any Photoshop or any Premiere stuff because I'm just on my tablet here. I'm actually waiting for that post for the 100,000 post in the Facebook group. My previous post was a parody. I'm not sure that I saw that. Maybe I did. Yeah, there's the post that I just made about this live stream that I've pinned. I'll unpin it when this is done, and then I'll probably do my usual thing. And so, yeah, that was another thing. It was like, it felt like a milestone every time we hit 1,000, because I was there when we hit, basically, I think from 2,000 members on, I was there every 1,000. As a moderator and then later an admin. And Facebook has this little thing in the corner that anytime you have like new members, it says like, here's how many members have joined in the last week. That number stops counting at 100 and then just says over 100. And it says, why not welcome them? And so I thought that would be a nice thing to do, but I'm not going to tag people because that's irritating, and they might not want it. Maybe they're lurkers, and I love lurkers as much as everybody else. Lurkers are certainly welcome. Lurkers can learn too, and maybe watch our videos. And maybe vote on polls and click on like and stuff. But yeah, so I wanted to acknowledge everyone, but I didn't want to call anyone out. And so I was like, every 1,000, I made a little post, and I said, "Hey, we just approved our 19,000th person." And then the second sentence, there's actually a backstory for that. I was on a cruise on the Carnival Paradise with my friend Mike. There's some videos about that on Vacation Impossible, and we went to the piano bar, and every time somebody walked into the piano bar, the performer, his name is Gustavo. He's awesome. I've got a couple videos of his performances on my channel. When people would walk in, he would, in the middle of a song or the middle of a sentence, say, "New people," and raise his glass. He'd be like, "New people," and everyone would go like, "New people." And so it was this super welcoming thing that when somebody arrived, and I'm like, if there was a way that I could make our group have that sense of welcome, that's great. So that phrase where I always say, "Welcome new people," and then a big smiley face, that's actually straight from Gustavo, the piano bar entertainer on the Carnival Paradise. There's the origin story of that. Who knew that there was it's a simple phrase and you're like, there's an origin story for it? That's weird. But anyways, yeah. Oh, Peak Time Racing is here. Hey, Peak Time, how you doing? I am broadcasting from Victoria. Yeah, 100,000 members in the Facebook group. That's what we're celebrating today. So, yeah, we have 100,000 people in Small YouTubers Boost, the Facebook group, which gave birth to, among other things, this YouTube channel and these live streams. So... Okay, DJ Talks wants me to take a look at his channel art. Cool. Actually, just before I do that, there's actually one thing I wanted to talk about very briefly. I wonder if actually, maybe I should tweet about this live stream too. I swear I will get to you, DJ Talks. That's a promise. But one thing I wanted to talk about, I wanted to get your feedback. I want to be honest about something here. So, as you know, our group is sponsored by TubeBuddy. And so part of that deal is, and I don't know that I can share a lot about the details, but basically if I post about it twice a week and we have, their logo in our banner, we get our discount code. Saves people 20%. So that's what that's all about. And so people often accuse me of being a shill for TubeBuddy. But here's the thing. I am completely honest about the things that I endorse and the things that I don't. I have been approached now by at least a dozen companies that have wanted to pay me to post about their product or just for free, mention their product or get an endorsement or whatever in the Facebook group or in this YouTube channel or whatever. And I always make the same sort of demands, if you will, the same requirements. And I say, look, I need to be able to test it first, and it needs to work, and I am going to give my honest opinion. So I'm going to talk about what's great, and I'm going to talk about what sucks. And so TubeBuddy has been the greatest partner because their product's friggin' awesome. It has very little to do with the fact that, they gave us a discount code for the group and the sponsorship and all that stuff. I'm going to tell you what's great. I'm going to tell you what sucks. One of the things that sucks is when you're in Channelytics and you want to see it defaults to the subscriber screen. That never updates with data. You have to toggle to views and then or uploads and then back to subscribers to get it to update. And that's a little irritating. And I'm going to be honest about those sorts of things. The thing is that TubeBuddy is like 98% awesome. And so people think that I'm just this shill, but the simple fact is it's a damn good thing. And so I have trouble reconciling that. No worries, Mr. G. This was not exactly announced. This happened by accident. One of our moderators pulled the trigger on this thing. This wasn't even me. But anyways, yeah. So it's frustrating for me when someone's like, "Oh, you're sponsored. You have to say that." I'm like, no, I really don't. Because like Viral Stat, for example, has reached out and they did some partnering with us as well. And their product is good in the sense that it gives you all these analytics. But I said this to them and I say this publicly, I am honest about this stuff because frankly, I don't have the time to lie. I don't have the energy to lie. I can't remember the lie, so I'm not gonna. My problem was I had trouble taking their data, their huge amount of data, and turning that into action items for smaller channels. It's great if you're a big channel and you want to see what the competition is, or if you've got a collab coming and you want to know more than just the Social Blade stats. That's great. But in terms of just running your own channel, how do I take Viral Stats information and turn that into an action item? And the one thing that I've been able to do personally with that tool is I can sort my videos by least viewed over a period of time. And most other things don't let you do that. TubeBuddy, Social Blade, YouTube itself, they don't seem to rank it by least viewed. Maybe they think it's negative. I don't know. But that tells me the things that I need to target. And maybe if I have time and I can only work on a new thumbnail, I can't make a new video for whatever reason, that gives me an idea on something maybe I could work on to breathe life back into that old video like I'm doing CPR. So that is... that's a challenge. And so... I'm kind of I guess I'm just bearing my soul about that. But I would also like any kind of feedback. Is like, what am I doing wrong that makes people think I'm a shill, that I'm not telling the truth? I don't get it. It frustrates me, and it can be a little triggering too. Not gonna lie. And actually, there's another thing I'm dealing with right now that I would love to get feedback on. I have been approached by an MCN. I'm not going to mention any names or anything. They're based in Pakistan, but they represent channels with over 2 million subscribers. So they're no small potatoes. They clearly know what they're doing. And so they want to do some sort of partnering with Small YouTubers Boost. But here's the thing, and I was saying this earlier, I have to test out anything before I can endorse it. But I don't want to join an MCN. So, but there could be people out there that want to join an MCN. So this is a dilemma I'm facing right now, and I don't know how to resolve it, as how can I potentially say, like, hey, if you're looking for an MCN, try these folks out, but I can't say if they're any good, basically. I've done a little bit of research and diligence, but I like to speak from personal experience, and I can't because I don't want to. So I don't know, maybe if somebody wants to try partnering with them, they could be my canary in a coal mine. I just don't want either of my channels to be in an MCN. It's just a personal choice I've made. I might change my mind in the future. But that's sort of, that's something else that I'm sort of struggling with right now. So anyways, let's take a look. It was the channel art, DJ Talks. So I like that you still have that picture of yourself, because it's a nice picture, and I see that picture and I remember you, and so there's a good association there. I think that your banner's pretty good. Now I'm on my Surface 3 right now, so it's displaying in a particular way. The image seems slightly tilted, not like tilted, but I mean there's more blank space on the left than on the right, so it doesn't feel centered. That's the word I'm looking for. It doesn't feel centered to me on this view. And I think that the TV could be made to be a little smaller. But that having been said, I think this is actually really good. You've got a pretty good color scheme, and as I understand it from the things you've been posting on Reddit, in our subreddit, there is a Small YouTubers Boost subreddit. It's kind of like a sandbox you can play in, because we don't moderate it heavily, and so you probably won't get banned from it unless you do sub for sub type stuff. But I know that Reddit is a huge challenge. It can be really intimidating. So I created that subreddit as a safe place where you can play. I mean, it probably won't get you a lot of views or subs. I don't know. If it does, fantastic. But what I really intended it for initially is you can post and see how it works. You can see oh, that's how it displays if I put the link this way, or if I make a text post and I just put the link in the text post, or I comment a link, what does all that look like? It's a place for you to play and experiment, so that when you go into other subreddits where maybe you can go and find that audience, then you're more experienced with the technological side of it, and you're a bit more comfortable because you had a safe place to practice in. That's the intent. If it becomes more or something else, that's great. Let it evolve. I'm happy with that. But that's the intent right now. And I know DJ Talks is pretty active in that subreddit, so that's awesome. And so he posts, I believe, reviews of TV shows. And I think it's older, sort of 90s Power Rangers type TV shows. So the image of the older style TV with the color in it, I think this is a really good image, because it's appealing. It pops reasonably well. I just think the TV should be scaled down a little bit so that it works on multiple resolutions. And adjust it so that it's centered a bit better. Those are nitpicks, I freely admit. By and large, I think you've got a good logo going on here. And it tells me instantly sort of okay, this is probably about older television shows. Fantastic. And so I think that it communicates information very well. Interesting. So yeah, it was channel art that you were curious about. I think the thumbnails from these playlists, they could use a little work. For example, Season 1 and Talk Series, you can actually go into your playlist and select which video serves as the thumbnail for the playlist. And so I would say go in and try to maybe pick the video that has the best CTR and use that as the one that is the thumbnail for the playlist. That might be a good approach. But I'm liking your more recent thumbnails. They're really good. the sort of the reacting thing is great. It is cropped at the bottom, so I would suggest putting it at the bottom. Like this one here, Life is a Teenage Robot Review. That's placed perfectly because it looks natural where it is. But because it's that sharp line at the bottom of you, generally speaking, I would put it at the bottom so that it aligns with the bottom of the thumbnail. But if there's something that is like a horizontal plane, like in that Teenage Robot one, that you can kind of place it on, that's fantastic as well. It's when it's hovering. Like in the Buzz Lightyear, it's kind of hovering. That looks that doesn't to me look quite as professional. The image doesn't blend as nicely. That's my 2 cents for whatever it's worth. Exactly 2 cents, less than 2 cents. Have you tried exporting to Google Analytics? It has more features. I have not, but I think Achilles Melee knows more about Google Analytics than I do, so he might have something useful to say in chat about that. What do we have here? Dia 2603, watch time, hour count, subscriber count, and more. You should all check it out. I'm just in love with it. Oh, are you talking about viral stat there? Also give me milestones, social images to share on social medias. Oh, you're talking about TubeBuddy, I think. Yeah. I love TubeBuddy for so many different reasons. And it makes me sound like a shill, but whatever, I'm in love. The big story about YouTube is I worry about whether I'm good or not. I always have that doubt. I bet you that like 99% of YouTubers feel that way regardless of size. The other 1% are sociopaths. Not naming names because I don't know. Or maybe they're like, malignant narcissists or just narcissists? I don't know. But I think 99% of us probably feel, we might not always admit to it, but we have I think we all have some degree of doubt. Hearing things. I've got my do not disturb sign up, so I don't think anyone's knocking. Unless they want to complain that I'm too loud. It's like 2 in the afternoon though, so. Viewed this. Thanks for the congratulations on the group hitting 100K. Oh, you're talking about YouTube Tracker, YT Tracker. Yeah, I've never tried that. As I understand it, that it's focused on one thing and one thing only, and it's reaching the monetization goal. YT Tracker. Some people like it, and I've seen it posts about it in the group. I've never tried it myself, but it seems to be a bit, and this is speaking from a place of ignorance, I completely acknowledge that, but it seems like it's a one-trick pony in the sense that it's focused on hitting monetization, and I worry that, the money can become too much of a focus, and that can come at the cost of the quality of the art. So that's part of why I don't really use it, and I feel like I have that information in other places just fine. But that's just me. If it works for other people, and I've only heard largely positive things about it. Some people say it glitches sometimes, and occasionally doesn't connect or something. But that happens to everything. So by and large, I hear it's good. I can't speak from personal experience. So Mr. G wanted me to check him out. So full disclosure, I should own my stuff. Mr. G and I had a bit of a falling out a while ago. He left the group, and there was some harsh words exchanged over DM. And so I want to apologize for my part in that very publicly because, hey, why not? We're here. I've been meaning to. I've unblocked you, if you're curious, from messaging me on Facebook. I apologize for, losing my cool. And I, as I recall, I used language I probably shouldn't have. So I do want to apologize for that. It was one of those cases where I think I was being accused of using the group to grow my channel, which I do that no more than a member would. I'm not pinning posts for Vacation Impossible, for example. But it was kind of triggering for me, and it came at a stressful time. There was this weird thing that happened in the group around that time where there was a group in India that wanted to buy the Facebook group from me. They never actually mentioned a dollar amount. But basically they had engaged in this week-long period of harassment where they created multiple accounts and they started creating trouble in the group and sending me personally insulting and threatening messages. So it was like a week or two after that had been revealed and I shut it down because it was always in the same time frame and it was right around what would be 8 a.m. in India. And it took me forever to clue into this. It took a week of harassment before I figured out what the hell was going on. But the grammar was similar, the broken English was similar, and it was a lot of they were creating posts that were not quite breaking the rules, and then they were messaging me all sorts of stuff, and then eventually one of them was like, "Oh, hey, well if this is too much work for you, I'd be happy to buy it off you," and I was like, "Oh, I think I know what's going on." And then I noticed that a lot of those fake accounts started getting shut down by Facebook. And so then I knew they were fake accounts. And so once I realized what it was and I called them out and I started realizing that time frame. So for me, I forget it was like 11 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night. It would be between 9 and 11 o'clock at night I would get this bombardment, this maelstrom of just hate. In so many different ways. It was honestly pretty creative. I almost have to give him credit for it. And so it was like 9 o'clock, I'm going to start getting hate messages on the instant messenger. Boom, there it is. Clockwork. So I figured out what it was. And so anyways, I was kind of stressed from my messenger stuff after that. Hey man, as much as apologizing to you, this is me bearing my soul. So this is my therapy because I can't afford it. But anyways, I do appreciate your apology there as well. So now we can move on successful and conquer the world together. Sound good? Let's do it. Okay. And I need to search Martin Robo 123 because Mr. G doesn't search. And also Mr. G is, I think, the name of a famous director who was a producer on Chuck or something. No, that's Mick G. Okay, well, anyways. So that is part of the challenge there, though, because maybe you have, I'm guessing, 2 accounts, because I'm looking at, in chat, it says it's Mr. G. But let me do a search for... Which is funny because actually Mr. G, TubeBuddy says, is a fair term at 22 out of 100, which, I mean, it's not, I don't see there. Okay, so it is Mr. G. That's interesting. So there's a lot that we can work on here to a degree. Not to sound too arrogant, hopefully. Oh, and that name comes up as a good score of 42. Cool. Because it got us what we were looking for as part of it. So, there's some stuff here. So, if you're known as Mr. G, it displays as Mr. G, but people searching it doesn't find you, then I think that working towards improving your SEO on that search term would help you control your brand. So what I would recommend for that is I'm looking at your channel description, and when I started doing these live streams at LAX, like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago now, something like that, I was initially talking about channel descriptions. That and playlists, because I had noticed at the time that the 2 things that people, small YouTubers and some large ones, were neglecting were the channel description and playlists. And I was like, well, if you can master that, that might give you an advantage over somebody who is also not paying careful attention to it. So your channel description begins with, "Hi all, welcome to my channel. You will find A." And then it truncates off on my Surface 3. I'm using Firefox. It drops off. So your channel coming up as search results, the part of your description that's truncating is not great, just to be fair. It doesn't tell me what your channel is about. So I would honestly drop the "Hey all" and "Welcome to my channel," or "Hi all." Partly because everyone says it, but largely because it's not search friendly. There's no SEO terms in there. Nobody's searching those terms on YouTube, and if they are, they're not finding you. Trust me, they're too generic. And it doesn't tell what your channel is about. So what I would remove those first 2 sentences so that you can move your actual description that tells people what you're about earlier, because this is one of the ways people can discover your channel. Everyone thinks about SEO as it relates to videos, and that's important, don't get me wrong, but your channel as well, writ large. So if you can move some of those terms and also work in the channel name if it isn't already later in the description. So if you say like, "At Mr. G we do this," so that you get the channel name in there, so that you have keyword alignment with both your channel name and the channel description, and you get it in early, and then you pivot immediately to what you're about in as few characters as possible, so that you can just really get to the core there. That's some good feedback, I hope. So 534 videos, 905 subscribers, so you can just taste that 1,000, I'm sure. Whether you're chasing going mobile on live stream or monetization or just being able to say hit 1K, I know that that's a big moment for anybody when they hit it, so I hope you hit it soon. Looking forward to you posting in the group about having hit it. I think that's good. So as I understand it, I don't know much about your channel, but my understanding is you kind of do like reactions and point out like stupidity on the internet, I think, and call out stupidity on the internet. I don't know if that's accurate. I haven't watched any of your videos, but from the descriptions I've seen, I think it's kind of like an acerbic comedic take on morons online. I don't know. Maybe I'm not describing that accurately. And so if that's even close to accurate, you're the core component of it. It's sort of you and your take. So I like your banner. You've got the logo there. It pops. Good contrast. You've got yourself there in a couple of different expressions and positions with the white outline that I still haven't figured out how to do yet. And so I think that your banner looks pretty good. I'm not seeing any social links here. And so I do generally recommend people have a couple of social links for a variety of reasons. An easy one is Twitter. because the sharing buttons when you upload a video, or even if you're watching a video, you can just share it pretty easily. And I think that for things like Twitter, it helps you in a couple of ways. I think that this is a theory, it's a suspicion. I can't prove anything on this, but I think that YouTube knows when things have been shared to Twitter and retweeted and stuff like that. I think that the algo might be factoring that in. So I think making sure you share your video on Twitter, just one tweet about it, even if it's just the auto share thing where you click it and say, click Twitter, click tweet, and then it's just out there. I think it gives you a tiny boost in the algo on YouTube, plus getting you out on another platform without a huge amount of effort. Another important thing about that, a couple important things, is especially now that YouTube has adopted more of a Twitter-like approach to verification, or at least they will be, I think, in October or the new year. I know that they made their announcement, the world caught on fire, and then they backpedaled on a lot. And I thought taking away verification was like the wrong thing to do, don't get me wrong. Taking something away from people for them doing nothing wrong is like, that's why I cared about monetization. My personal journey is that I was monetized, but I didn't monetize practically any videos. I was experimenting. I did minor monetization to 25% of my videos because I wanted to see if they would perform better in search and discovery, because before those announcements, YouTube hadn't said if it treated monetized and unmonetized videos the same. And so I was experimenting. And then they came along and they announced these new rules and took away my monetization. And I'd never made more than 50 cents in a day. I'd never made enough for them to pay me anything, I don't think. Yeah, no, not by that point. It was really just I wanted my videos discovered, and so I was trying to find out if that was a factor. But then they took it away from me, and it wasn't anything that I did. And so suddenly I wanted it back pretty bad, because it kind of offended me. Frankly, it pissed me off. Like, this was my thing, and you took it away, and I didn't, for no reason of mine. What the hell? So I fought pretty hard to get it back, and, so it went away in February, and I got it back the following October, November, December, something like that. And so I imagine that people who were verified, I've never been, had a similar reaction. Except when my monetization got taken away, there were clear metrics and boundaries and goals to hit that I could work towards. And so I felt like I had some modicum of control. I can't control who watches my videos or for how long or who subscribes, but there are things I can do to influence that outcome. But now it seems like they've adopted more of the Twitter model where the whole thing's a bloody mystery. And it's the way that YouTube used to be for verification like 3 or 4 years ago, to a degree. So it's ambiguous. But one of the things that Twitter and Facebook and YouTube have all kind of acknowledged is their verification metrics, as well as some others, pretty much everyone but Instagram, I think, for the most part. They want to see consistency across social media platforms is one of the things they look for. To see that, are you a brand and are you consistently represented? Are you on Twitter with a similar profile, picture, and banner and content? Are you on Instagram? Are you on these other things? And so it's weird because it creates a bit of a chicken and the egg situation. Or like, you have to have credit to get credit, or if like nobody in your family has a driver's license who's going to teach you how to drive. It's this situation where there's like this cycle, and how do you get out of it? But having a couple social media platforms out there where you have a similar look and feel can be helpful in getting verified on YouTube and on those other platforms. The other part of that is, let's say the dream situation happens and, I don't know, Kylie Jenner tweets about you or something. Jimmy Kimmel mentions you on an episode, or some traditional media or somebody with a giant audience for whatever reason shouts you out, or maybe just one day the algo falls in love with you and you end up on the trending page or something, and you're asleep. And it happens right after you go to bed. So it's like midnight and you're blown up in like Japan on the internet and you don't even know. And then you wake up and you find out that you're a giant success. That would be awesome, but with it would come some challenges. And one of the things is that any level of success sadly often brings imposters. So if you can go on Instagram and Twitter and even bloody Snapchat, even though I don't understand it, and just create a username that locks down the Mr. G, or for other people watching, whatever, that locks down your username so that other people can't go and create them when you become a success and pretend to be you. Lock down that username. And yeah, okay, it might be like worrying about how we tax millionaires when we're barely making it by. I get that. But even Small YouTubers Boost has a lot of imposters out there. There's at least a half dozen Facebook groups out there that have super similar names that they have verbatim copied our rules, that in their group description they even say something like, oh, the admin small YouTubers boost is a jerk, so I created a better group, or something like that. Like they're straight up copying us. There's a small YouTubers boost 2 out there somewhere. They're all smaller, but that started a while ago. That started when Small YouTubers Boost had maybe 35,000 members. So it doesn't necessarily take a lot for people to think that, hey, maybe there's profit or some advantage in impersonating you. So I recommend going down and locking down those usernames, even if you don't really use it, and then include a couple of them as social links here that would appear on your banner, so that if people want to go and follow you there, great. But also, again, it can help with verification and making sure that you own your brand, so that other people, if someone's going to pretend to be Small YouTubers Boost, they're not getting facebook.com/Small YouTubers Boost. I've created a page to lock down that URL. I'm not using it a lot. I share some of our videos there occasionally, but it's really about like controlling that brand. And this was really frustrating for me. These imposter groups, some of them had like copied our rules but didn't enforce them, or had bad rules or no rules or whatever. And every now and then I'll get a message like maybe once a week, certainly at least once a month, sometimes several times a day, where someone is misbehaving in a group that is pretending to be us, and they think that it's me, and so I get a message, and they're like, this guy was a jerk in your group, and I'm like, neither you nor the jerk is in any of my groups, what are you talking about? And then they're like, oh, Small YouTubers Boost 2, and I'm like, that is not me. Please don't waste my time. So imposters are running their groups poorly. That's what happens when you use a copy, and so, in the modern world we live in with social media and everything, and we want to be, these kinds of successes, we want to kind of control that. And so I recommend locking down the username and getting the branding out there consistently, so that if you blow up in one, you're already ready for success in the others, hopefully, as well. I am not buying the Power of the Daleks DVD. I might come back and watch that on my own time. Is Chris Chibnall ruining Doctor Who? Okay, I'm... Interesting. I was not a fan of the Moffat years. I love Russell T Davies more than I should. And Chris Chibnall did really good with, what was it? Because him and Eros Lynn, as the primary director, did almost all of Broadchurch. And so I thought he did a great job with that. So when I heard that he was coming in to take over Doctor Who, I was enthused. I mean, really, I want Russell T Davies to come back, but that probably will never happen. But I can still dream. But yeah, I'm probably going to come back and watch some of these on my own time one day, if I A, remember, and B, ever have the time. Interesting subjects you got going on there. Playlists. Let's take a peek at that. Vlogs with sarcasm. Cock of the month. Yeah, I remember you mentioning or sharing that. Hopefully it was never me. I was legit worried I would be one. But even then, I mean, is there such a thing as bad press? Ooh, Sniper Elite. I want to get that game. But I'm weird. I want to get it for like the Wii U, so pay me no mind. But anyways, you got some playlists there, which is pretty good. Oh yeah, I want to check out your general channel layout. Problem is I'm looking on the tablet, and so it doesn't display the way it would on desktop. So yeah, you've got uploads, created playlists, and popular uploads. What I would recommend is taking at least 2 of your playlists that have at least 6 videos and putting them on your main page as well, in between these sort of YouTube maintained ones. Because I think that will show a little bit more fulsome creation of your channel, a little bit more professional layout. So like the kinds of things that are successful, but it shows that that you're curating your own content. Because these are all sort of, these are good to have, don't get me wrong. But 1 or 2 playlists that you yourself have created and curated, I think would be a good idea. So that if somebody wants to be like, because they could come here and they could see like, okay, you're reacting to comments, talking about alphas, and then get into some Doctor Who stuff, but also some video game stuff. Like if there was a Doctor Who playlist and like a video game playlist, those 2 alone, I'd be like, okay, those are some major subjects that he covers, and if one of those, like Doctor Who, for example, speaks to me, then here's some of those videos right now, and I could click and maybe watch them in a playlist if I so chose. I think that would be a good approach. Let's check the About page. You will find a variety of videos from gaming to beer reviews to reaction and music tributes. Okay. So yeah, take out the first 2 sentences and say, at Mr. G, you'll find a variety of videos ranging from, and you can go from there. That alone, I think, would help. Looking here also, I'm not seeing an email. So depending on what you're interested in, if you were to potentially be contacted by a brand, or another channel for a collab opportunity, there's no way to reach you by email here. You can set your email so that it is masked in the sense that someone has to click on it to view it, so that the spiders and bots aren't as easily able to get it to send you spam. But if a brand were to want to do some sort of a deal with you, I mean, could you imagine if Chris Chibnall decided, hey, I'd love to give an interview or something, and wanted to reach out to you and say, hey, you know what, I want to refute what you said, let's have a conversation. That'd be an amazing opportunity for you. You'd probably want to do that. With some of the more legacy media and stuff like that, email is more sort of their jam. And how many times have we gotten comments on our YouTube videos that sound like a wonderful opportunity, and we're like, are you legit? With email, it's easier to tell, I find, because you can look at the domain that the email came from. There's general structure to it. There's a signature that might contain contact information. So I find that vetting somebody reaching out to me by email is easier than vetting someone who's commented on a video, where then I have to go into their channel, and it's kind of like, it's harder to tell. So that's just some thoughts. And again, if you did create any social media stuff, you would put the links down below there. Got over 100,000 views, man. That's awesome. You've joined in 2007, so you're OG in the sense that I'm OG, because I joined in 2006 in October. So I think you're like, 5 months after me. So that's cool. Let's see how Channelytics works on Firefox on a Surface 3. This is a TubeBuddy function, in case you didn't hear me talking about TubeBuddy earlier. It's a browser plugin website and mobile app that I find super useful, but doesn't appear to be working for me right now. There's an affiliate link in the video description. Video is not sponsored. I highly recommend it, but maybe not on a Surface 3. It does generally work for me, but because I'm also running OBS and streaming, I think that my machine is a little overtaxed right now, so I don't think I'm able to do much with that. So I've been ignoring chat for a while. I'm going to come back and make sure that, I'm still broadcasting and stuff. Let's see here. I'm going to get myself another drink. It's just knockoff 7-Up, though. Nothing too exciting. I wish I understood analytics, but I'm just thick. And the thing with analytics is that they can be really overwhelming because there's so many. What I would suggest is try to pick one thing and try to kind of understand it, because that's kind of how I've done it. I've done it piecemeal. And so I accept and I try to publicly acknowledge, like, I don't know everything, but I hopefully know a few things fairly well, some other things on the surface level, and there are some things like Snapchat that's a bloody mystery to me. I don't know if I'll ever understand. Let's see here. UberXJ said, what's up, everybody? Hey, UberXJ, welcome to the party. Am I still endorsing Talency? Yeah, well, endorsing in the sense that I'll tell the truth about it. So yeah, there's some things I refuse to endorse. There was this Instagram plugin that didn't work at all, and I'm not even going to mention their name. But no, I do kind of endorse Talency, but I don't use them that much. So Talency for like $7.99 US. There's a link down below, video not sponsored. It's an affiliate link. You get unlimited graphic design services. So if you want a profile picture or a thumbnail or a banner design for your channel, they'll do that. They also have a couple other things. Like there was this thing where it's like there's a link that will always link to your latest video. I found that didn't work great, so I don't talk about that a lot because I don't recommend that. The graphic services are okay. For profile pictures, awesome. The profile picture that I use on Facebook, when you go to Small YouTubers Boost, the Facebook group, and you see like Ray, the admin, Ray R, I've got that animated profile pic. I love that thing. That is awesome. And I do often see people coming into the group advertising graphic design services. And they're like, oh, make a thumbnail for $30. And I'm like, I desperately want to be like, Talency charges way less than that. But there's also the degree of quality. And so with Talency, I think it can vary because they have a bunch of graphic designers on retainer that your request goes to. And so you might get a great one. You might get someone who's just kind of okay. So I use Talency on Small YouTubers, on Vacation Impossible. I used them for my LAX hotel review video. Here, I'll see about bringing that up. I'll show you the thumbnail that Talency made for that. And so the turnaround time on the profile picture was 10 days, but the turnaround time on the thumbnail was like a day or two. So for me, the turnaround time is the problem, and I kind of like to do things myself. I try to self-educate as much as I can, partly so I can then go here and show you guys how to do things, like make your own thumbnail and stuff like that. So, here we can kind of talk about it. So one of these things is not like the other. And it's this one in the middle here was what Talency made. So they had me send the screenshot of my face. And so they put the text in there, and they did the kind of the hazing around the border. So my Hilton LAX review, that's a Talency thumbnail there. That's the only thumbnail I've gotten them to do so far, because generally I like to design my own. And because I think that's an evolution and a learning process. And you can kind of see as I'm scrolling through here, I'm like, okay, like that broken one's pretty rough. The free upgrade one's pretty rough. Those could use new thumbnails. But like Kids on Cruises isn't bad. Elevator with no buttons, okay. I need to update my logo on that. The Renaissance LAX Hotel Review and Tour, I rather like that one. I think that one looks pretty good. LAX to Long Beach, that one could use an update. And it's an evolution, and it's a constant evolution. So you're going to constantly be proud of something that, like, in 9 months you're going to be not so proud of. At least in my experience, as I learn new things and my tastes evolved. So yeah, Talenzy's all right. If you have limited funds, though, I would definitely get TubeBuddy before getting Talenzy. But if you super struggle with graphic design, maybe you'll need Talenzy more than TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy, the paid version, does have a thumbnail editor that's not too bad. I used it on my... Well, here, I'll show you. I did it actually in a live stream where I went in and I used it to update. I did it for my Epcot video. And my Epcot video sucks. No. Oh, yeah. It was very basic. It put the text on there, and I was able to put ironically, the Talenzy picture of myself in there as a semi-transparent PNG. So that's not, like, super exciting because I only used it for a couple of minutes in a live stream. But that's also a pretty good option for people who need to design their thumbnails. But again, if you're just like, I just can't be bothered, I don't want to have to learn that whole thing, Talenzy could be a really good option for you. Just make sure that you build in that time. So it's like, if you want to get the video out on Saturday and it's Friday, you might need to do that one yourself. But if it's like Monday and you want a video out on Friday, okay, that's probably enough time for Talenzy to turn it around for you. You might want to use them. Starleith the Boss Hunter, not sure if I'm saying that right. Welcome to the live. Thanks, UberXJ, for the congratulations on the 100,000 member. Let's see here. Brought the rest of my think tank into the group last night. Group of creators that all bounce ideas and vids, pre-publish off of each other. Cool. So, yeah, viewed this. That's awesome. Yeah, and we did have a bit of a line to get into the group because I had this crazy nightclub idea where I wanted to, like, hold it at 99,999 and then kind of weed out some of the less active people in the sense that all they ever did was link drop and nothing else ever. But then one of my moderators went in and approved 183 people while I was grabbing lunch, and so now we're at 100K. So welcome to the party. Part of your group was probably in that, or maybe some I approved last night. But anyways, we're open for business again now. No more lineup. We'll just let people in. We'll go back to our growth model. Achilles wants that sweet 1K. Yeah. And it's funny because it's an arbitrary number, but it's, YouTube pointed, and some people disengaged. Some people got angry, myself included. Some people got angry and said, I'm going for it. Some people just said, okay, I'm going for it. And it's interesting the different reactions that people had. When they first announced that, I remember in the mod chat, we were like, so is sub for sub going to get worse now that there's this requirement? Or is it going to be like, are people going to give up because it's too much? And I don't know that we've got a good answer for that. I think it just seems pretty steady. Like, we thought it would change the world, and I don't know that it really did. But I'm not a huge expert. I think it would have, if it had an impact, it would have had an impact on people who were, I think, uploading videos they didn't have the rights to and monetizing it right away. And so hopefully it's cut down on that. And it's funny because, like, before 2016, I didn't take YouTube very seriously. It was like October, November 2016. One day I just said, you know what? I'm tired of not being a bigger success on YouTube than I am. I'm going to start taking this thing seriously. And so I've made a lot of progress since then. Still a long way to go. I am far from an expert. But yeah, it's a real learning process. And so I don't really know, sort of writ large, what kind of videos were of a concern that they were trying to address with the new monetization rules, other than things that people didn't own. But once I decided to take it seriously, seeing people who would repost other people's content really pisses me off now. I had a video that was stolen wholesale. It was the Majestic Colonial video. I'll just bring it up here as a visual aid. But my channel, Vacation Impossible, is an ensemble channel, which means that there's a lot of people who appear on it. And so this was one of our members, Mike. He'd gone to Punta Cana on his own, and he filmed this. I edited it. music by Cam, and we uploaded this video, 2.7K views 8 months ago, and someone copied it wholesale. They even stole the thumbnail that I made myself. They put it up on their channel, and it was up there for 2 or 3 months before I suddenly got a notification from YouTube. And they were like, oh, we found a copyright match on some of your content. And I'm like, what? That's a thing? What is this? And then I found it, and it was like, yeah, they kept the title, the thumbnail, and the whole video, and they just changed the description and posted it on their channel. They didn't have a lot of views off of it. It was like 200, 300 maybe. But those views accounted for more than 60% of all the views on their channel. So that pissed me off and upset me. Also, they are a very seemingly shady travel agent. So they were trying to make money off of it for their travel business. And they were like, oh, I can't wait to go back here. And I'm like, I don't think you've ever been there because this isn't your video. I've never been there, and I own this video. It was, a member of my team that went. So that was upsetting. And I went through the process, and I documented some of it in the group, and I have the screenshots. Maybe one day I'll make a video where I actually kind of show you the screenshots in the process, so you see what that's like. Because that was surreal. Because I was like 90% angry, 10% flattered. But it gives you the option of you can message them, you can give them like a month to take it down, or you can just take it down now and issue a copyright strike. And I was like, you know what? Copyright strike time. This person needs to be taught a lesson. And so they took it down within 12 hours. YouTube did, of me saying, yes, copyright strike. But that is so weird to be on the other side of that, because I've got content ID matches all over my channel. Before I started taking it seriously, I didn't have music. Before I realized my friend Cam, it was this funny thing. I'm at Boston Pizza with my friend Burton and Cam, and we're just talking about whatever, shooting the breeze, talking about hobbies and stress relief. I think he had a new job at the time. And he says, yeah, you know what I really love to do to relieve stress? When I go home at the end of the day, I'll write music. And no one ever hears it, and I kind of wish that they would. I don't want to make money off of it. I don't want to be famous or anything. But it's how I relieve stress. I find it really relaxing. And the whole time I'm like, go on. Because, my problem was that I didn't have any original music, and so I was getting content ID matches all the time. A bunch of my videos couldn't be watched in Germany because BMG was kind of, picky about that for some reason. This one video of a pirate ship in London got taken down entirely because I used some Oasis music, and I really recommend against doing that. And so I was like, that was always a challenge from day one. I started filming in 2001, and I was always like, what can I use for background music? And so it was like 2016 or something. I was out for dinner, and this guy's telling me he's writing a bunch of music that he owns the rights to and does nothing with. And, he doesn't want the credit. He doesn't want money. He just wants somebody to hear it and for his name to be in there somewhere. And so I was like, hey, man, could I use that on my YouTube channel? I will totally get an audience for your music, and I will put your name in the description every time. And he was like, that would be amazing. And so he's helped me fight copyright claims that have been made against his music, and we've won every time. But it's so weird. So I went to being the guy that got hit with a content ID match all the dang time, to the guy who was issuing copyright strikes and disputing claims and winning. And so that's weird. That is bizarre. But that's that story. I don't know how I got into that tangent. Anyways, I'm going to grab a little bit more fake 7-Up. And then I'll get back to chat and see what y'all find people are talking about. If there are any other requests, questions, channel reviews, whatever. We'll keep this thing going as long as we can. Okay, let's see what's going on here. The white outline is just a stroke option in Photoshop blending options. Yeah, no, I get that. The trick for me is cutting it out. Because is there a way to do it without taking, the cursor and outlining the person? Because I don't have the steady hands for that. I got Red Bull hands. We used to joke when I was, even back in 2001 when we were first filming our travel videos, before there was a YouTube, I always tried to get someone else to be the cameraman because I just didn't have kind of that, steady hand for whatever reason. And so it's like if there was like a tool. I did one time stumble across a website that did it like automatically, algorithmically, AI, I don't know, whatever. And I don't remember what it was. I think it was a paid one. It gave you like one free sample. But if there was just like a function like that website, that would be awesome. I would like that. I finally learned how to do white outlines on GIMP. Took a while. Yeah, I mean, I could probably just watch a couple tutorial videos. Sometimes it's just a matter of sitting my butt down and investing the time, and I need to do that. But I've got so many things pushing my time. Like, there's this another thing that reached out to me. There's this plugin that's supposed to reduce noise in an epic way. And they wanted to offer like discount and all that stuff for members. I need to test it out first, and so I have to set up a time where I can have somebody like Skype me, and then I can test it. And I was going to try and do that today before this whole 100K thing came up. And so like that's one of the many things that is just pulling on my time. So it's like, and you know, you got to have me time in there every now and then. Maybe you want to play some Smash Brothers on the Switch or something. Like just relax, play some good old Dr. Mario or something. So it's tricky. Let's see here. Off to Twitter I go. 3411 Heaven Media. Hope that works out and helps you. Sniper Elite is awesome. Cool. I like sort of the sniper games. I haven't played a good one in a long time. Chat is doing weird things to me right now. Oh, Sniper Elite is bullet time? Cool. One day. The thing is like I look at price charting and I see it's like a $10 game, and everywhere I see it's like $25, and I'm like, I'm not paying that. Even though I'm sure I'll get $25 worth of enjoyment out of it, but it feels like I'm losing a game. It's like my mini game is getting it at a fair price. I have a friend, I mentioned once a year ago that I was interested in the game, and he's like constantly watching for it for me. And it's very sweet that he does that. But I've got 2 sets of eyes looking for this thing at the magic price. It hasn't happened in a year and a half. Do you recommend having videos cross-posted in playlists? Absolutely. Yes, 100%. There's no reason not to do that. You can mark what is the official playlist of a particular video, but it can also exist in others, and I think that's a good idea. It's something I need to do a little bit more of with Vacation Impossible, because the playlists I generally create is like a trip. So, for example, right now I'm releasing videos from a 13-state, 2-province, 17-day road trip. We go to frickin' Bothell, to like St. Louis, to Indianapolis, to Edmonton, all over the Great Falls, all over the place. We go to Mount Rushmore. And so as I release it, I put that in one sort of playlist as like a season or whatever, because it's one trip. But for people searching it, what if people just want to see everything from Washington State? And I have old videos about like a parking tip in Seattle and other things. And so it's like I want to have a playlist for a trip in case they want to see it like sort of a narrative. But then I also want it by like destination. And so any sort of axis you can cut that by in a matrix or whatever you want to call it to create a playlist that is thematic is a good idea, because then somebody could just sit and watch and binge a bunch of it. You've curated it for them. And also like the name of the playlist and those associations help with SEO, keyword optimization. And so, like, keyword alignment, this is the thing of mine, one of the things that I try to talk about a lot. If a word, let's say vacation, appears in your channel name, your playlist name, your file name, your video title, your description, your tags, the comments, and the words that you say in the video that are also captioned and appears in your channel description, all of that adds up to an alignment that increases the likelihood that you will rank better on whatever that search term is, whether it's Mr. G, vacation, YouTuber, whatever it might be. Now, the shorter that is, the more competitive it is, the harder it is to get into. Maybe less so with Mr. G because it's not as common a term, but like those other ones, vacation, travel, small, YouTube, whatever, all of those words on their own, very hard. But if you get it to, so maybe not so much channel name, but all the other pieces can still come together in longer tail keywords. So, for example, I've got Majestic Colonial Resort in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. I think I do fairly well in that video in terms of ranking for that long tail search term, keyword. And that's sort of how I recommend, and many people recommend, small YouTubers grow. Is you start by going for those long tail keywords that have less volume, yes, but much less competition. And you own them. You own the hell out of that search term. And then as you gain subscribers and views and interactions, and you've got this audience base, then you can start competing for shorter and shorter keywords as you evolve, such that one day you could be going after the 1 and 2 and 3 word keywords. that are high volume, high competition. But now you've got this army behind you of viewers that are going to give you watch time and views and interactions, likes, comments, thumbs ups, all that stuff that help algorithmically boost it against that noise in the competition that maybe you'll register. That's one way of explaining it. That was read ages ago. I needed to be changed. Thank you. And that's the thing. I've said this before. People often write their channel description when they first create their channel. And I don't think there's anyone in the world, I've said this before, I don't think there's anyone in the world who says, ooh, I get to write a profile description today. I've been waiting for this. I think very few people revel in it. There might be some writers out there who enjoy it quite a bit. But normally, you know, whether you're joining like a dating site or a social media app or YouTube or something else, and you're like, yeah, I didn't join this to write a description about myself. I joined YouTube to make videos. Why is there this thing in the way of me making videos? Now, as you get to understand the platform better, it's so that people can understand what the hell you're about, and the algorithm can kind of determine what you're about as well through an automated AI process. What words appear in all those places to increase the confidence that that's what you're about. But if you're just the first time joining YouTube and you want to get your cat video out there, this is a barrier, and so you throw something down and move on. If you're lucky, you're witty. If you're smart and you're lucky, maybe use the keywords that help you. But I think most people don't really enjoy it, don't revel in it. And so they said it, and then they never go back because it wasn't a pleasant experience, and they got bigger things to think about. But those little things add up. And so that's one of the things I say is there's like 100 small things you need to do to be successful on YouTube. So if I can point out 2 or 3 that maybe you've forgotten about, then I've done something good with my day. And I'm thinking I'll probably give this live stream maybe another half hour, but I need to have a shower. I need to kind of get ready for the rest of my day. Meeting up with my friend. He's making me dinner at his place. So let's see what we got going on here. Dudes, people reach out. I got on ESPN right this minute in Japanese TV. Keep on the grind. You can do it. Yeah, John, it's amazing. And frankly, it offends my sense of right and wrong in the universe that he doesn't have more subscribers, given how much success he's had with these traditional media outlets. But he's going to pop one day. It's going to happen. So, you know, just wait. And that's one of the things, like when the monetization rules came in of the 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, I had like 98% of the watch time, but I had like 30% of the subscribers. And so I went on a blitz. I put out a video every day for 30 days. Damn near killed myself doing it. I exaggerate slightly for effect, but it was incredibly exhausting, I'm not going to lie. I didn't get sick or anything, but it was exhausting. It drained on me. But I also reached out to traditional media, and I got in the Daily Beast and in Canadian newspaper websites from coast to coast to coast. Almost every small newspaper in Canada had me on their website. And I got like 100 subscribers out of that whole effort. That whole month. A video a day for 30 days and all that traditional media. And that's how it goes sometimes. But try everything. You never know. It did get me some views on one video, Costa Maya, that they embedded in a lot of those Canadian articles. Let's see how that one's doing. Yeah, it's almost at 3,000 views, which for my channel is pretty decent. One thing, how do you define success on your channel for a video? One thing that I like to do is let's go with, let's take a look at Social Blade. Social Blade's a free website. So I can't chill for something that don't cost nothing. So for free service, this is actually pretty useful. The guy that made Social Blade, Ergo, nice guy. He supports the Mario Marathon charity. That's how I first discovered him. And I suspect, I don't know for a fact, but I think this actually was an outcropping of the Mario Marathon stats that he made that helped track donations to that charity. I think that was where this may have begun. Maybe it's parallel. Maybe this came first. I don't know. But I really like Social Blade because it's a good tool, but I also know that it was created and run by a really solid dude. So some things here that we can look at on Social Blade. There's a lot of stuff here. What I just wanted to focus on was specifically the uploads and view count. So if I have across my channel 576,218 views divided by 488 uploads, that gives me an average of 1,180 views per video. So you could look at that as, I always get this mixed up if that's the median or the mean. Anyways, it's kind of, well, no, it's the average is what that is. That's the average. So you want an easy way to consider is a video a success or not? Well, is it above or below your average? And so that's kind of what I use. And so, for example, when my mukbang video came out, my average then was 1,000. And so when, John was like, oh, I want you to do a second one. And I'm like, yeah, when it gets to 1,000. Because that would be that means it's in the top 50% of my videos. As loose math, not perfect, but roughly. Good enough. And so now I can see that, all right, so like anything like 1,200 views or more, I would consider a successful video because it's pushing my average up, not bringing it down. One way of looking at it. 3411 Heaven Media, would you be willing to review our channel? Yes, I am willing. What do you do? It's funny, I go to all the trouble of using my snowball microphone when I live stream from home. I think people said more complimentary things about this broadcast in the audio than the one with the $100 mic. Alright, let's see here. 3411 Heaven Media. Here it is. Kind of a cool logo, sort of like a 70s retro Monkeys CD album vibe, something going on there. So 3411 Heaven Media exists to provide high quality, and that's where it truncates. And I mean, I think on like a desktop it wouldn't truncate so early. What I would suggest is drop exists to and say 3411 Media Heaven, or 3411 Heaven Media provides high quality. Then you can get whatever the next word is, because I bet the next word tells you what the channel's actually about. And I want to know. The name scores a 39 on my Search Explorer here. This is TubeBuddy, the browser plugin that's evaluating what I just searched on. Like, you don't know what you don't know. And I think having the TubeBuddy browser plugin installed, even if it's just the free version, the information that displays... Speaking of which, it's doing a thing here.
You might say that 3411 Heaven is entering a whole new league of professional products. We have been recently provided something that we think will help you get to the point. Today we'll be unboxing
let's see, channel tags, ASMR,
a Kingston Presenter Pro presentation remote provided to you by my college's administration. And what that says to anyone who's watching this video, if you are not on the hype train where a college's administration is supporting us, you gotta get on this bandwagon while you can. Go down, click that subscribe button, drop a like because we all know that you're gonna enjoy this video, and let's unbox this Kingston Presenter Pro green laser remote right now.
Yeah! Combine some of these. The try not to laugh Vine challenge.
Safety first.
Watch the funniest Vines and try not to
There's
laugh.
2 tabs on this box. We're only going to go in from one side though because we don't want to totally destroy this and us get yelled at.
Funny Fortnite fails.
Just like that, we sliced it open. Bing bang boom, there we go, we're inside. What's inside the box? We'll find out if I can pull it open. Sorry, technical difficulty. Oh. You can't actually pull out the inside, you can just pull out the things that are in the inside.
That's interesting.
Here we go. So,
well, you're pretty new. August of this year. So you already have 149 subscribers there. That's awesome. Hopefully you claimed your custom URL. Let's see. Exists to provide high-quality, tech-oriented content that is not only entertaining but also informative. That's well written, but yeah, you got to get to the point as fast as possible. The channel is run by 4 college students looking to avoid real working jobs by becoming full-time YouTubers. I like that. That's funny. You might want to put a line break between the two so that sentence pops out as its own entity rather than a continuation of the previous paragraph. We're looking for products to unbox and review. If you want your company featured or have suggestions for future videos, please reach out to us via email. Thanks to all of you early supporters for believing in us. So this is not bad. Honestly, this is a pretty good description. The 2 pieces that I would consider adding is something that's a little bit more SEO keyword friendly. If you look at your most popular videos and try to work those in, one of the classic examples that I put in is the rule of 3. 3 is the magic number. And so people are used to seeing things listed in 3s. So if you see like, whether it's our Try Not to Laugh challenge or, reviewing the latest or reviewing the best Vines, because Vine's not a thing anymore, to unboxing these headphones. Something like give 3 specific examples. It's like whether it's this, or this, we always want to do, always want to provide you with the best entertainment or something. And so it's a sentence structure that gets those keywords in there. It's not keyword packing where you just put in words, not in sentences. It has to be in a sentence that a human would understand, but that would give a little bit more SEO value to the description. But I like a lot of what you have here. So I think you could just space it out in paragraphs, add that piece I talked about with some SEO stuff, and yeah, honestly, I think that's all you really need. I mean, one of the things I often harp on is the why, but you've got a pretty funny why here. For college students that want to avoid working real jobs. That's funny. I like that. Okay, this is weird.
You might say that 3411 Heaven is entering.
Did the audio of that video go through? I'm curious. Because I have my speaker turned off, but I'm not sure if the audio feeds through directly to the stream. It shouldn't. So just looking at a couple things here. Your banner design looks very professional. I like it. You've got a Facebook social media link. That's solid. Assume you've claimed your custom URL. Your image quality here on this paused video is very crisp. I imagine you're using a very good camera that you know how to use properly. You're doing better than me there. So, from a photography, videography standpoint, I think you're doing very well. Thumbnails are pretty good. Product reviews. What kind of playlist do you have? Every item in Walmart reviewed. Yeah, right. 11 videos? Not unless each video is like 3 days long. Although I imagine that's a playlist, so you're going to slowly work your way through Walmart. It's the quest that can never end, like counting the stars in the sky. Because as you go, new products will come in. Product showcases. Okay, so for the amount of content that you have, I think your layout's pretty good. I think at some point before long, you're going to want to consider adding one more curated playlist to your homepage, I think, to fill it out a bit more, look slightly more professional. But honestly, this looks really good. Looks like you're using Amazon affiliate links. I've recently signed up for the affiliate program because, again, I want to learn about it so I can share with you guys. So I only have links on like a couple of my videos. I got a product for free to review for the first time recently on Vacation Impossible that was cool. So I have the links to that product as affiliate links. I had a video where I was talking about how to pack for a trip, and we have this gag at the end where an amiibo swings in like Indiana Jones and hides in the suitcase. So I put a link to buy the amiibo. I don't know. I haven't made any sales yet, and you need to make 3 in your first 6 months to stay with it. So I don't know. But apparently, if somebody clicks your link, anything they buy in the next 24 hours you get credit for, even if it's not that product. So holidays are coming up, and maybe I'll put it on more videos and stuff. I don't know. I want to qualify so I can continue like learning about it, testing it out, playing around with it, and then kind of report back here as to how it works. The extra base thumbnail here is pretty solid, but the outline that you have, and I'm nitpicking here, the outline that you have around the text is like a thin stroke. I would recommend, especially if you're using Photoshop, as an alternative to that to look a little bit more professional, because I find the thin stroke can look like super thin and pixelated in some cases. It's happening a little bit in your Will This Light Up Your World thing as well, which awesome name, by the way. If you instead use a drop shadow with a distance set to 0 and then you diffuse it a little bit, it kind of has like a not really shadow, but like a dark contrast glow a little bit. That can really make that text say crisp and pop without the stroke. Might look a little better. And so I think on those 2 thumbnails it would work, and also the big boom or bust, like that kind where you have that thin stroke. Because your other ones, you're doing pretty well. Like the red stroke around the $22, that works great. The black rectangle boxes behind, they did what? That looks really sharp and pops. That's good. Although that text I would replace with something more telling. about the subject matter, because looking at it, I wouldn't know what the heck it's about if I'm only looking at the thumbnail. And there are places where people will only see the thumbnail. Social Blade's actually a good example of that. At the top of Social Blade, they'll put your most recent video, but it won't have the title. It'll just have the thumbnail. A lot of the embeds look like that on websites, message boards, things like that. Also, on this Will This Light Up Your World, you see what's happening is it actually, from the way it's displayed here, is Will This Light Up Your Whirl? And so one thing to be cognizant of when you're making and designing your thumbnails, and you do this on all of the other thumbnails on the screen, just that one, is the time code ends up in the bottom right hand corner, the duration of the video, and that is on top of your thumbnail. So the bottom right hand, like 10% of your image, kind of needs to be blank space, or whatever's there has to be non-critical and not text, because it could get covered up by the timestamp. So that's a little tricky for how you would space that on that. Maybe up your world. Sounds funny. If you put up your in one line and then world question mark on a second line and align the text to the left, lining it up with the will, so that it kind of like goes around the image. That might be one way of getting that resolved. But I mean, no, honestly, this looks really professional. I think you've got something good here. And yeah, we already looked at that. So, no, I mean, I think you're firing on almost all cylinders, almost fully there. I think you're doing a solid job. A lot of us could probably learn a little bit from that. Let's see here. UberXJ says same here. Does that mean you wanted a channel review as well? We'll have to convince him to do both at the same time. I didn't see that in time, but it looks like, yeah, UberXJ is looking for a channel review as well. Probably go for another 15 minutes on this live stream, so let's take a peek. Try to do like a lightning-ish round. I don't know. I say I'm going to do lightning round and I always end up talking forever. So this is a little problematic. Oh, because it's, you see, this is one of those Google things. There's an algorithm behind so many searches now that it's like, oh, you didn't search what you wanted to search. We know what you really want. So, but over here I think I can just click this to search instead what I actually searched for, YouTube. Although it's funny because UberXJ as separate words came up as a 44 good score on the TubeBuddy Search Explorer browser plugin. So, looks like you got a good name. Is this not updating? Ugh. Hotel Wi-Fi. What can you do? I'm going to give that a minute to figure itself out. I'm just going to get caught up on chat here. One thing I like is you say how it is, so thank you. Oh yeah, no, you're welcome. I mean, that's the whole thing. Honestly, it's just me being lazy. I don't have the energy to be a shill. Who has that kind of energy? I'd be drinking Red Bull all the time and my heart would explode. Talency is a network too. Yeah, and I don't know anything about the network side of things on Talency, so I can't speak to that. I was not invited into their network. And again, if it's an MCN, I don't think I want to do it. I don't know. If I was to do an MCN, I'd have to be convinced by somebody I look up to. Like Roberto Blake would have to, or Pat Contry would have to come down from on high and say, no, Ray, join the MCN. And then I'd be like, yeah, okay. Whatever you say, sir. Can I open that door for you? Just calling student looking to build their portfolio. The free TubeBuddy does too, just very limited. Yeah, and that's the thing. There's 31 free tools in TubeBuddy, but even the cheapest paid version upgrades almost all of those tools and adds additional ones, so you end up with 45 fully fledged tools at the cheapest level. And if you join our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/smallYouTubersBoost, and click in the announcements, there is a code that will save you 20%. And if you pay for a year at once, you save another 20% on top of that. That ends up being like $5 a month or something. I forget what the math on that is. You can get TubeBuddy through Talency. You can. That is true. That I believe you can. It's, I think, the cheapest one, but it is one of the paid things. It does come with it. I haven't tried that particular method out because I got TubeBuddy on my own independently prior to even knowing what Talency was, other than some emails they sent me. It had an impact on YouTube's revenue. Yeah, well, yeah, of course. That was the monetization thing. Oh, you live in the Dominican Republic. Your last video is also in a resort. Cool. Maxic said hi. Ray left us for fake 7-Up. I'm crushed. Well, my voice was starting to go. Ray's gone. Let's party. More product reviews. Now, unboxings. I'm working on a boxing one, but it's funny. Shh, he's back. Okay, that's Can't wait till Ray looks at chat again. Hold on, this auto-scrolled on me. Oh my gosh, come on. Auto-scrolled a lot. I missed a lot here. Use the magic selector. Yeah, that's for Photoshop trying to select the person. That's easier, true. You just have to get a plain background, which can be tricky. But, you know, that's one of the things, like, Instagrammable locations are becoming more of a thing. There's the gelato place in Vancouver that has a pink wall. When I was in West Edmonton Mall, they had set up these 4 rooms with different, like, colors. It was, like, very pink, very blue. So it was very Instagrammable, and so you can also probably get the contrast to pick out the background easily. So I might be able to do that. Ray, we were having a discussion. Channel review. On this note, Ray, what are your thoughts on creating a playlist contribution thread in the group? Travel blog playlist, first-person shooter playlist, unboxing playlist, vacation playlists. I notice how, like, he keeps hitting every other one is something that I would have a video in. That is how you sell me on things. Very strategic marketing there, sir. Yeah, if somebody else wants to do that work. I just don't have the time. What's your opinion on putting affiliate links on your own videos pinned comment? Is legal, is worth it? Well, I think it's legal. I don't think it violates any of the terms of the affiliate programming from what I've seen. Is it worth it? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of big YouTubers pin their own comments. I'm on the fence. I tried to pin other people's comments. I don't know. I'm still forming an opinion. Let me just cross-post everything. Can someone songify this whole live stream, please? Yeah. Auto-tune the news me, baby. That'd be awesome. Are they still a thing? Yeah, being more concise is good, yeah. Although, again, your description was really solid. Video is playing. Oh my god, turn it off. Stop the video. Video is playing down below. Stop. Autoplay. Stop the video. Wow, people are losing their minds about autoplay. Is it, was it giving audio from the video? Is that why you're all losing your minds about that? Make the video stop. He's on the other screen. Okay. There's really a lot of consternation out there. Yay. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. And this live stream you will be able to rewatch. I think like 20 to 40 minutes after the broadcast ends, it'll finish processing, and then you can go back and watch it as you like. I'll probably trim the front little bit where I was trying to figure everything out. Can't wait until Ray looks at the chat again. That's a growing playlist. It's endless content for Walmart. Affiliate program rocks. I have a collab idea. Oh, from Stupid Robot Fighting League to Heaven Media. Nice. 5 sales, correct. Have people buy some weird stuff through our links. Curious about weird. But hey, I guess if you get that affiliate, and they were probably going to buy those things anyway, so, you know. Thanks for reviewing it. Yeah, you're welcome. I can't message you through Facebook. Anyway, I can get a channel review. I doubt I will have time, X-Airline X, but I will try. I pinned comment I love. I agree with you there, Elvis. Okay, let's see. Has this thing updated now? Yeah. But it's giving me videos, not channels. But it's the name of the channel. And it's only giving me 3 results. Why would it? And one of them's not from your channel. What is going on? Now, if I click on just your name, that should take me to your channel. It could be my internet being dodgy. I will not name the hotel because I don't want people showing up. Video leap. That's channel tags. Okay. This is... Oh, there's a video playing down there. It was 5 seconds. That is... What is with that title? Video leap and then just a bunch of characters. That is not SEO friendly or good for an audience because they won't... That's weird. I don't know what that's all about. All right, let's see what's going on here. Well, this display is kind of... Oh, it's not showing losses. So it looks like actually you've lost 2 subscribers over the last 30 days. So not trending in the ideal direction. How are the views going? You've got a bit of a bump around September 25th. So everybody with me now, you're going to guess that they put out a video on September 25th? I'm thinking maybe. No. They have no new videos in the last 30 days. What? But there's this video down here. This is 4 days ago. Oh, was this a live stream? I think sometimes live streams don't get counted as videos in the Channelytics tool. This is all looking very strange to me. I'm not sure I'm understanding. No, it just looks like a video. I don't understand. Strange things are afoot at the Circle K. Introduction to me and my channel. I like your banner. Your banner's pretty cool. Your profile picture would be like a great dating site profile picture probably, but it doesn't seem to line up with your brand because it looks like you're wearing like a suit blazer and a turtleneck and like an ID badge maybe for like a conference or something around your neck that's hanging rather low, and then of course you got your phone there. And I can't imagine that urban explorers look like that. Like if you're urban exploring, I don't think a suit blazer is what you wear. Although, you know what, if you did, that would be some cool branding. That would be like your unique thing. That could be kind of cool. It's like, yeah, the cops totally showed up, but you were in a suit, so like they kind of judged you a little differently than the guy in the hoodie with the spray paint, you know? I don't know, that could be an interesting idea. But so I mean, it's a good profile picture as for a person, but for your channel, I don't know that it communicates a lot of information. Might be a little off-brand, if you will. So, how many videos do you have? I'm confused on this topic. Just 2. And they're kind of short. So, I mean, this is pretty early on. I don't think I'm going to be able to provide a whole lot of feedback here just because there's not a lot to work with. 61 views. You joined... Okay, I see what's going on. You joined YouTube 5 days ago. And there's no channel description. So the very first thing I'm going to say is complete your channel layout. Add a description, social links if there are any. Maybe consider a new profile picture. Get some more videos out as you can. There's a module you can add on your homepage about recommending other channels. I recommend doing that. I think it gives you a boost in the algorithm, and it also shows the community that you're sort of helpful with everybody. So I think that's probably going to be wrapping it up here. Don't trust YouTube analytics. They have some, little glitching here and there. Maybe my messages are not going through. You've skipped my review request more than 5 times. What's this all about? Can I... What else did he say? My last video is also in a resort, live in the Dominican Republic. Yeah, I got those messages. Yeah, you were talking about YouTube tracker. I responded to that. Gives you milestones. Said thank you for something. I'm new to the group. My content is in Spanish, but I hope that the group will help me grow my audience. I'm not seeing a request here for a channel review. Certainly not 5 times. I've read your messages. I've engaged with you as much as I can in chat. But I kind of need to get going. I got to get the rest of my day happening here. Bucket List Coach Web Show. Welcome. Yeah, we're going to be taking a cruise together, apparently. We're going to be on the second ever sailing on the Carnival Panorama, leaving Long Beach on December 14th. I'm telling the whole internet where to find you. I hope that's okay. I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. The second ever sailing of that Vista class ship. So that's going to be great. And so I actually reached out to Bucket List Coach Web Show and sort of messaged the group. Maybe yours is not going through. Are you submitting links? Maybe links are not displaying. That could be it. I can do a quick glance at your channel, but I don't have a lot of time left. But, Bucket List Coach Web Show. Maybe we'll be able to do some sort of a collaboration of some kind. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing in Cabo. I might join your activity. I'm not sure yet. I still got to figure out what's going on with my group. But, yeah, it would be cool if we could, meet up and do something. Okay. So, for this channel, as they mentioned, I think it's Spanish, so I'm not going to be able to do a lot vis-a-vis words that I can't read. I know English and some French, and that's about it. Profile picture is a nice profile picture. It's pretty decent saturation. Probably punch it up another 10% or so, but still pretty good. Pretty vibrant color. Your channel name has a fair score in TubeBuddy, 36 out of 100. 35 videos, 959 subscribers, so you're getting close to that 1K. It's got to feel good. Oh, it'll feel better when you get there. That took a while to load. Something about Impossible in there, and as the owner of Vacation Impossible, I am intrigued. I'm wondering if this is like a relationship channel, just because it's obviously a picture of the two of you. I don't know. One thing I'll say about relationship channels is I don't know what to make of them. They confound me. And it's a challenge in the Small YouTubers Boost Facebook group because People will say, and in chat, you know what, let's take a vote. I'm curious, help me here. If someone says that they are a relationship channel, should that be enough to approve the post? Is that a good enough description? Because, I don't know, it feels like vlog. It feels like, you know, it's like it could be about anything. Your relationship videos could be about playing video games together, committing a murder spree together, your favorite television show reviewing together. You could be doing challenges with spicy noodles. You could be traveling the world. You could be, you know, is relationship format or content? And that's my big question for chat. Should I allow relationship be enough of a descriptor to approve posts, or should I require more than that? And then the other thing is like, yeah, people who are like, oh, me and my boyfriend, it's like, that's cool. What if it doesn't work out? What happens to the channel? I'm not saying that about these people or anyone specifically, but in the back of my head, I'm Mr. Worst Case Scenario, so I'm always wondering, like, gotta have a plan. And I'm like, all these relationship channels, like, what, like, can all those relationships work out? And, like, then what do? Do you split the channel? Like, it's all in the public space. And so it's like, I don't talk about my relationships on YouTube, like, really at all. And that's my personal choice. Other people, hey, you know, whatever entertains you and stuff. But I just don't get it. Like, why would you want to watch videos that are just about two other people being in love? I mean, I guess maybe like a romantic comedy movie. You know, those can be all right. I don't get it. And so I need help from people who do understand. So if you're a fan of that genre, is someone just saying they're a relationship channel, does that tell you what they're about or not? Or should we require a second word? I'm curious. All right, let's see what's going on here. Holy cow, you had a big old boost of subscribers, kicking around the 16th. Whatever the heck you've been doing from September 13th to the 18th, do more of whatever that is. Is that videos? Nope. Okay, here's what you got to do. Did your views spike along with the subscriptions? It's not a correlation. That's interesting. So your views obviously spiked when you released a new video, and then this is an interesting graph. Okay, what I would recommend you do is those dates that I mentioned, go into your analytics and look at your audience traffic from that time frame. Figure out, or the subscriber analytics, really. Where are these people coming from? What did you do in that time frame? And do more of whatever that was, because that's clearly working for you. All right, you got some channel tags there. Oh, video's playing. That's probably the kind of thing you guys were talking about. The Chanalytics thing auto-loading. I'm not a big fan. So some of the text you're using on your thumbnails is like a brush script, calligraphy kind of thing, or small font. And that's really hard to read at these kind of resolutions. The font I recommend people use is something called Bebas, B-E-B-A-S, or Bebas New. You can get it for free. Just Google it. And it's what a lot of the big YouTubers use because it scales really well. It's a block font, so it's easy to read. And at different resolutions, it will still look pretty good, unlike some other fonts that don't necessarily do that. I would recommend here adding a popular uploads. You just set it once, and then YouTube will always update it with whatever your most popular videos are. Let's see, do you have playlists? Carnival. So you might want to consider that, putting that playlist on your home screen. Or as you create more, how many videos do you have? Okay, it looks like you got a decent number of videos. I would suggest creating more playlists. And remember, everyone, you can write descriptions for playlists. Sometimes it's not on the screen where you create the playlist. For example, if you create it while uploading a video, it doesn't give you the opportunity then to write a description. You have to go into Creator Studio playlist, then write the description. The description feeds into SEO and things like that. So, yeah, I recommend that. No social links. I talked about that earlier, so I do recommend having a couple social links. At the very least, get Twitter just because it's easy. Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of what I got to say about that one. Yeah, we can vlog together with H3 family vlogs on the cruise. That sounds awesome. Yeah, no, we should set something up. Go take over the library or something, wherever they let us record, where there'd be decent sound. I was playing with I had an experiment, and you can watch a video on this channel, Small YouTubers Boost, where I was testing out a lav mic on a road trip, and it failed frickin' hard because I wanted a mic that would be good to use on deck when there's wind. So if you got a solution to that one, I'd love to hear it. Our relation is very controversial. Our two countries don't get along well. Romeo and Juliet thing going on there. I can respect that. We were getting over all odds. I appreciate that. Tags of a very popular video. The video that got me 600 subs using the tags. But there was no view spike that corresponded to it. That's what I don't get. Tags on a video get views on the video that then would drive the subscribers. But I wasn't seeing a corresponding increase in views that lined up with the subscriber growth. I mean, there was a secondary hiccup on the graph. But that's interesting. So it's the tags of a video. How do you know that that is where the subscribers came from, I guess would be my question. Anyways, I need to wrap this up. This has been fun. How long have we been going for? A little over 2 hours. So I was hoping that the big celebratory live stream would last longer, but hey, we are now in a new era of Small YouTubers Boost. What is it? She went to Dominican Got Talent. I just copied their tags. Oh, like she was on... Oh, that, like the show? Like Dominicans Got Talent? YouTube help retrieve tags from other videos. Yeah, TubeBuddy's good for that as well. I didn't know that YT Tracker does that as well. So, interesting. I learned something new today. So anyways, thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. Please do subscribe if you haven't already. I do live streams every now and then, and often with no notice, like today had Zippo notice. I didn't even have notice. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. When I do a standard live stream, the way that works, thanks to Stupid Robot Fighting League for the happy 100K day. I should get a cake. I should not get cake. You got this beard. All right. Oh, hey, Amanda, you made it. We're just wrapping up. Sorry. But you'll be able to rewatch in 20 to 40 minutes when it's reposted and processed. I got to go have a shower. I got plans today. I did not plan on doing this. But anyways, yeah, so have notifications turned on with the bell icon, because when we go live, we respond as you saw today. I go in chat. Just got off work. I hope work is going well for you. I just got off, sorry, just got off work. I'm mixing up my things. Trying to wrap this thing up. So, as you saw earlier, I went by chat. So chronologically, the first person to make a request in chat was the first person's request who I addressed. So subscribing with notifications on means you're able to join us early and get that request in so that I can hopefully get to you. I don't always have time to get to all the requests. Today, I think I got most of them. But anyways, yeah. And we will see you on Small YouTubers Boost, the Facebook group, now with over 100,000 members. Wow. Wow. Who knows where it goes from here? But yeah, look forward to seeing y'all in the group, and thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.